me kind of like, what's the opportunity there? How could I even just start my own little Christmas light division? Let's say I'm a pest control guy. I want to add something in the off season because I only do pests in the summer, or you want something for those winter months. How does Christmas lights work?
The business model, or what should they go do? I could just give them the exact steps. Yeah, and if your audience goes and like rewinds what I just said and they do that, like message Sam and tell him like it's not a theory. You will make money. Like that's not a theory. If you rewind 30 seconds and copy that, you will make money.
What's up, guys? My name's Sam Taggart.
I'm Adam Chapman.
Spencer Claeys.
And we're here doing a collective podcast. And what was so fun, we're out here. Where are we?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Why?
For the huge convention.
So big shout out to Sid and his team. I've thrown big conventions and it's not an easy feat. And getting to this Gaylord hotel, did any of you guys have the same reaction I did?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, whoa. It's literally a city and inside. And anyway, I walked in and I was like, where are we? So Came spoke, Adam spoke. Did you have a breakout or anything?
Yeah, we had a breakout for the CLC training, so I spoke on like Facebook ads and stuff. So
that's cool. So if you have not followed Adam or Spencer, go do so on Instagram. And these guys, like I've always looked up to. It's fun. Like Adam and I were just joking. I was like, dude, Adam. He texted me on Instagram. He's like, hey, you're in Nashville? Like me too. I want to meet you because I followed this guy for years. And why? Because I had this idea of Street Smarts, which was teaching kids and young entrepreneurs on how to go do this. And I was like, there's a couple guys doing this, and Adam is one of them, where his Instagram, like his whole concept is like you can make $2, $3, $4 grand a day very easily with just the dumb, boring jobs, right? That was kind of your mission. So tell us a little bit how you got that started and like how that got going.
For the online stuff?
Yeah, like, or even just like
quick rundown.
Business,
Yeah, so I played pro hockey. I played major junior, played pro hockey, and then had a really bad concussion. And I didn't come from much in life, and I just knew that like, hey, hockey might not happen. Like, what the hell am I gonna do? So I started going door to door, collected deposit money, bought my equipment. I've been doing it now for 8 years. And then Home Service University, doing the online stuff. I was really against it at first. Like, I did not, like, my like sympathy for someone that has an excuse, man, like I'm not good. I have low patience on that. So people were calling PadPal though, like my company PadPal, like holding up the phone line being like, hey, my name's Spencer, I'm from Seattle, Washington, man, I love your stuff. And odd time I'd call them back, or like, no, he didn't do that. Like I'd email them, or if it was like a really like, I do have a heart, like if it was like like one guy from my house, like a really good story, I jumped on, spent 2 hours with him on Zoom, and then gave him like a bunch of PadPal like resources, like our door, like everything he needs. And then 8 months goes by and he's like, hey man, like I quit my job, like we had our third baby, like everything, like thank you for making an impact on my life. And that's what I was like, oh, people are actually, will go and do it. So now I've been doing like PadPal for 8 years, Home Service University for 2. And I love it. Home Service has changed my life, and it's cool to now play a small role in other people's journeys. And it's a bit more than the money too, as you know. It's really cool to do.
Literally, your start was the same way my start was. Yeah. So I had created an online training for my alarm team, and we called it the PAC website because our team name was the PAC. And I went on to Wix and started my own. Not a lot of people, even my listeners, even know this. Like my own video library for my own team. And Vivint got super mad. They like, if you post anything online, we're gonna like sue you and come after you because they didn't want any exposure. And I left Vivint. And I was like, well, I don't have any reason to have alarm training anymore. I'm in solar now. So I was just like, anybody need help? And they called me, hey, I'm like, here's some videos. And it just like, I didn't realize so many people were needing training. And I was just like, here, like, take my stuff. I didn't charge, it was just free. Like, and then like years later, I was like, wait a minute, maybe I could like charge for that. That's how DPT&x started. Yeah. So really similar. And
you bring in, when you charge for it, you bring in better people, and like it's the best thing. Starting in the home services, like the best, like the way I did was a bad accident, and like it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And same thing with Home Service University. Like, if I was just focused on growing PadPal, like I don't think I'd be as dedicated as I am to doing both the Home Service U and growing PadPal, so I can be a good example too, right?
Yeah.
So it keeps me busy. Yeah.
Love that. So how did you kind of get your start? Kind of what's your story, Spence?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of finished college I've only been doing this like 4 years, almost 5. So. Finished college, and then the whole pandemic thing happened. So I was like, I was sick of just working. I'd been in the Navy for a bit, like just want to make some money, and just went out. I saw some other guys' YouTube stuff. I mean, this was back in the day. There wasn't a ton of resources, but yeah, I just started knocking doors, and then I started making money, and it was like, this is awesome. So I kind of got really into the marketing thing. Like marketing is kind of my background, and so I'm kind of focused on that, like digital stuff now. That's kind of what I teach. But yeah, I've just been doing that whole thing up in Seattle. You've probably seen some of the moss up there, like all the stuff. So we clean that, but yeah, no, I'm mostly just teaching guys the digital stuff now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So home service, like, you know, my world in Utah, we come from alarms, solar, door-to-door roofing, or not so much even roofing, but pest. When I saw your stuff, I'm like, man, there needs to be more people doing, what industries do you tend to kind of teach?
Yes, so I have what I do at PadPal, I call it service stacking, and it's fluctuated throughout like our 8 years, but it's essentially like for us being in Canada where it snows in the winter and like there is seasonal change big time. We do like window cleaning, like do different services at different time of the year, but like our average customer, we try to get them to spend $2,000 over the course of the year between Christmas lights, window cleaning, gutter cleaning, house washing. We also do like asphalt, we sub that out. And so yeah, we do a variety of services that we've kind of played with over time. I call it service stacking is what I kind of.
I was gonna say, because I noticed like you'll be pressure washing somebody's driveway, or you'll be asphalt, like laying new asphalt, or then you'll be gutter cleaning, you know what I mean? And so I think a lot of people have kind of tried this concept of like own a customer, own the home, build those relationships. Do you find that you're like, when you say service stacking, are you going back to those customers and you have a way of like, or you just go get new customers new season?
No, so for me, like that's what I was talking about here this weekend. I'm like, if you create an experience, like you've been out for a steak dinner, like that was really expensive, but I'd go back, you probably tell your friends, oh, it was really expensive, but it was good. Like you've been out for a cheap meal and you're like, oh, that was a waste of money, it sucks, right? So that's amplified when it comes to someone's home. Like if they have $1 million home in Utah, you know, some of those nice houses, do you think you care about saving $200 on an $1,800 Christmas light job from a company that's not gonna do as well? So like, I always preach like, build your brand name up, do a really good service, and then you get in the door for Christmas lights, you over deliver, drop off the cookies on Christmas Day, hey, thank you so much. We do soft washing, gutter, they sign up. It's insanely beneficial to keep your own customers, charge a premium price, and do a good job. And then your workers are good too.
You guys doing soft washing now?
No, it came to mind because of you. We don't do soft washing. That was not a big thing.
I showed him how last year, but he just like.
So what is soft washing? Tell us about some of these other home services that maybe you got your feet in. Because that's the thing, like if I'm in Utah, you know, services might be a little different than if I'm in Washington or if I'm in Canada, but tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, I mean, everyone asks, like, you know, like I'll get that question, like, oh, like we don't have moss on roofs here. It's like, but you know, there's so many different things you can do. We've been doing a lot of solar panel cleaning recently. So like we've talked to some guys in Utah, they're like getting into the cleaning because everyone's selling it, but yeah, no one really offers cleaning it. They're just trying to sell the install, but then what do you do after that? So we do a lot of solar panel cleaning, like soft washing is, you know, spraying bleach on a roof essentially. We use like oxygen bleach now. It's a little bit less like, you know, I got tired of using like the sodium hypochlorite burning my skin. So we actually have that like on our website now. So we're doing like oxygen bleach, and then there's all the moss, we get so much moss, gutters, and yeah, we don't even really do pressure washing or window cleaning. It's just so like wet and grimy, like no one really cares about their driveway. So, but yeah, that's kind of, roofs are a big deal for sure. So that's most of our business there.
Love that.
Getting into Christmas lights too though. We started last year, kind of first time getting into Christmas lights.
So where do you see, it's funny, over the last probably 2 years, you're starting to see a little bit more of the permanent lighting? Because there was like, obviously like,
he loves permanent lights. You should ask him about it. He's gonna.
I'm curious your 2 cents, like where that's going. Because I've coached a couple recently that came to my sales boot camps. Where do you see that going, and what is that industry?
I'm kidding.
You did good or bad? I've heard bad experience and I've heard good experience.
Yeah. So my company did like roughly like $700K in like 9 months of it, and we got out of it. Like, pick a good supplier. Like that's a really big thing that screwed us. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about permanent lights. If you're in holiday lighting, I wouldn't worry about permanent lighting. If you're gonna do permanent lighting, like in terms of like worry about losing your business to it, because a lot of people don't like it too. Like there's some of our customers, like when we started doing permanent lighting, our holiday lighting was about 130,000. We try to transfer them all to permanent lighting, and a lot of them just don't like that style. They like Christmas light style. It'll be interesting.
It's interesting. That's why I say it's a new industry. Like, it's funny. I see the trends, right? Like, when I was in alarms, that was the shit. Like, it was like alarms. Why would you do anything else? And now, and pest control was like kind of secondary. Then solar comes along, it's sexy. Everybody goes to solar, and then people are now flooding back to pest control. Alarms still just kind of like coaxing. You know what I mean? And like a different like solar. Then turf all of a sudden's on the rise. I'm seeing a lot of like residential turf is up and coming. Permanent lighting's up and coming. You know, and it comes with its like innovation and nuance of like, hey, how do I keep and maintain a good install? If I piss off a customer here, I just lost that customer for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And like what he's saying. And so he's like, I'm looking at this thing as like, how do I keep repeat customer or permanent lighting? A lot of the guys like this, the normal Christmas light guys are sitting there going, well, now how do I sell them again? Because I want them coming back every year, right? So it's like either thinking short-term, long-term, it's thinking, you know, but that's why I was curious your opinion on the 2 cents.
Yeah, it was like we went pretty deep in it, and it was like it was pretty intense. I sold the division after we did it. Like, we went and just packaged like for pennies on the dollar just to. That was like a business. You have those years where you get punched in the face a few times. My advice to anyone that's thinking about doing permanent lighting, I honestly like the most important thing would be like your supplier. Like, make sure you have a good supplier. Like, do your research on that, and then like definitely get some support with it. And the other thing would be sell a maintenance package. So if you sell the job for $5K, sell it insurance $39 a month or something, because if you say it's lifetime warranty or 5 years warranty, like it's expensive when you're doing maintenance. Yeah. So with the lighting stuff, I always say like get, and maybe it's just 'cause I'm not the brightest guy, but with the holiday lighting, the permanent lighting, it's good to get someone that knows what they're talking about, because holiday lighting's a short season. If you're making mistakes, you're wasting money, like you're missing out. And then the permanent lighting, like I was happy that I had those learning lessons when my company was at that size, because we could afford to like continue. But yeah, it was messy. It was a messy situation.
So let's talk about that young college kid or guy who wants to go make a quick buck during season of Christmas. Like, you're getting into Christmas lighting. You know, it's funny. I grew up in Park City, Utah, where there are $10 million homes, and I'm watching guys spending 10 grand on Christmas lights, and you're just like, that guy just spent 10 grand on Christmas lights. So tell me kind of like, what's the opportunity there? How could I even just start my own little Christmas light division? Let's say I'm a pest control guy. I want to add something in the off season because I only do pests in the summer, or you want something for those winter months. How does Christmas lights work?
The business model, or what should they go do? I could just give them the exact steps. So the way the business model works, so it's I always say, I preach it's experience. Holiday lighting, it's experience. It's a high ticket service. You're leasing commercial grade lights, so you get it from a supplier. ChristmasLightContractors.com, that's who we're here with, so you can go to them. You get it from a commercial supplier, because it's like Home Depot lights, and those, you don't have to turn them on. You can hand them to someone, they can feel it. You can tell right away. So commercial supplier, leasing the lights, you want to have $1,000 minimum, and if you want to go make money right now, you have a CRM, go through there right now, say, hey, we're offering holiday lighting. You don't have to worry about anything. We provide them, install them, maintain them, remove them, 2 or 3 year agreements, and we'll come back next year, 50% deposit. If you went through your contact base right now and take 50% deposits on those jobs, you'll have some money, and then you go order your lights, and then you do the jobs, and
it costs you nothing. You already have the customer base.
Free. You will go, if someone right now wants to go follow that exact strategy, learn how to do the lights. You don't even have to order them yet. Bring it up to your customer base, go through the whole thing. Hey, new service, we offer full service holiday lighting, the lights, the design, installation, maintenance, removal. Come to your house, check it out, take a photo on the iPad, use Jolly lights, $1,000, collect $500 deposit.
And like, what's so funny, like if you're—
That's the simplest.
That's it though, like, and it's funny because roofing is probably one of our major industries, right? And you do roof cleaning, but we have tons of roof replacements, which is kind of like permanent lighting in the sense you sell it one time and it's like, all right, we did it. Yeah. Hope a storm hits in 5 years and we do it again. Like, you know what I mean? But like, it's not like a repeat kind of thing where he said, hey, it's a 3-year agreement. We'll come back again, hopefully have you for 10 years. And so I think what's interesting is you take a roofing company and they say, let's just start a little permanent lighting business, or not a permanent, but just a temporary lighting business. And it's a way to stay in front of their customers. Maybe they don't even care about the extra $500, but maybe they care about, I'm the go-to person when they think roof, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, replacement here. And it's like, what a cool way to go supplement when you already have a customer base. You get a crew or 2 to go install, and you just go make some phone calls or a little drip campaign that you could do through your CRM.
Yeah, and if your audience goes and like rewinds what I just said and they do that, like message Sam and tell him like it's not a theory. You
like,
will make money. Like that's not a theory. If you rewind 30 seconds and copy that, you will make money. Oh, quick note, Jolly Lights only works on the iPad. So that just saved you guys a lot of stress and headaches.
So is our CRM. The DD CRM only works on iPhone. So, or
iPad,
yeah.
So yeah, that's like, I mean, you were saying like extra services, like, cause I know we have someone that in my group that like, they're in Vegas, they sell solar, you know, but then they're waiting 3 months to get their check. So they're now they offer solar panel cleaning. So now they actually can keep their guys working. And then also now it's like, you know, a 6-month or yearly service, and they're doing like pigeon proofing the panels. So just extra, and then now they're the go-to solar people, you know, like that's just like, you're building up like more services, just better.
You know, it'd be dope too, is come this fall, if I'm selling solar, I call it this concept of put a hole in the wall. So when I'm in alarms, it's like, I'm running credit, they pass credit, I know the deal is gonna sign, I'm texting technician, get your ass over here. He's showing up before I even leave because they're drilling holes in the wall, there's no cancellation, right? Like it's not like, yeah, it's like this concept of like, the faster you get things installed, the less likely of cancel, right? Same thing as like, let's spray quickly, let's not schedule it out for 3 weeks, let's deliver fast, right? But in solar, that's impossible. It's not like it's 3-month process, it's a 2-month process. So how cool would it be if you put it in as an adder into your solar loan, or just for free, you're like, dude, I'll give them $1,000 worth of Christmas lights for no cost, or bake it into the loan over 25 years. And now you install their Christmas lights like next day, the next day, the next day, and now they're not canceling your solar deal, because right now the statistics on solar is like a 60, 70% pull through. Well, if I can increase my retention because I just threw Christmas lights on, where they're like, but I can't just like cancel, they already did my whole house. Like,
or free window cleaning.
It's real.
Window cleaning. Free solar cleaning. We'll get called out for that too.
Yeah.
It's real. It's so real. And I also tell, like, for instance, on a high ticket thing, if you're selling something high ticket, I say, hey, instead of discounting your like, if someone say, hey, it's $3,000, the customer says, hey, can you do $2,500? Some guys will be like, okay, cool. I say, no, we can't do that, but I can do your windows for free. That cost me $80 in labor, and they see it as like a $300 service.
Exactly.
And then again, you get in, you do their window cleaning, and then get on the roof. Hey, like, why don't you do solar? It's cheaper to get us lead for window cleaning. If you're gonna do paid ads, then it will be for solar panel installation.
Well, it's funny, I have 2 clients right now that's what they lead with fiber, and then they follow up with solar. It's like they get their foot in the door, where window cleaning job, I mean, how long does it take you to sell a window cleaning job?
It's easy. Like, we could go today and get someone come home and tonight.
Yeah, it's easy. Payment. It's not a $30,000 solar job. It's like like the piece of gum at the checkout counter. It's just like a little up. It's like a, what they call it, a piece of gum. It's like a impulse buy. It's like an impulse buy. So
you knock a door. It takes what? The pitch is probably what? 5, 10, 15 minutes.
30 really seconds, 45 seconds.
45-second pitch.
It's not less than. I'm a big one. I'm probably like no pitch. Like, I'm really like talking, but like a typical window cleaning, if you're following a script, like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, like, and then obviously like handling what they say, but it's a very easy service. And like Spencer said, it's such a $200. Okay, cool, sure, whatever, man, sounds good. Like, and then you do a good job, and then when you're there, like, you're up there doing the windows, take a photo, the gutters are full. Hey, Sam, your gutters are full, bro. When was the last time you cleaned them? Like, well, we're here, we can do it, bang.
Or, hey, you've got damage on your roof.
Exactly, you're getting on the roofs.
You're getting on the roof.
And my guys, they take all the photos, we store them in our CRM, like at PadPal. We don't have a connection with a roofing company yet, but we do it with like asphalt. We're there doing windows, we see their driveways screwed. The guys take a photo, it's all cracked, and then we have a partner that will go and contact them for asphalt.
And I think a lot of people are afraid to build that ecosystem, right? Like, when he says we own the home, like, some of you guys are like, well, that's just adding too many verticals of delivery, because like the more complex of the delivery or the maintenance or the service, the more opportunity to fail is, right? Like what you learn in the permanent lighting. But I think where the power of having partnerships, affiliate deals, referral networks, it's like, let me pass you these leads and hopefully get a kicker on this thing where you didn't have to do anything on the driveway. It's just like, here, I found you a bad driveway.
Yeah, exactly. So there's, like I said, kind of there's been times where like there's services that we did that we just subbed them out. Like, I love asphalt sealing. It's like my favorite service is Christmas lights, then it's seal coating. But like, we'd always get so busy, like our 4th truck would be booked, and then we'd start using subs, like good subs, for 2 years. And my accountant, my family went and got a good accountant. He's like, bro, you make like 8% more for 5 vehicles on the road, 10 guys. Like, we have so much other things, why don't you just sub it to them? And you're still making like 30%, because again, they're not as good at marketing themselves. They do really good work, but the asphalt especially is like oftentimes like unprofessional, not good at marketing themselves, but really good workers. We've got good workers. So they've been subbing for us for 3 years. Just at the beginning of every year, give them like 15 pad pal hats, the shirts, and like, I know that they'll eventually, like if they started 1 or 2 with their own company, they'll start wearing ours by the summer. And then it's like, cause you can't force them to do it, but if they have 10 t-shirts in their car and they're getting dirty every day, they're gonna start wearing your shirts.
So
yeah, so it's like,
they just start wearing. You're like, do you work for Pad Pal? Well, technically no, but I love that.
yeah, and it's all open. Like our customers know. Like we call it partners. We don't call it subcontracting. And we do make sure that before we do anything like that, like I really do care about protecting the brand name. That it's a delicate thing. Like it's not just sign up a sub and start doing jobs. Yeah. And then there's
first guy on Craigslist, like, hey, we have an extra job. Yeah. So.
It's a delicate thing.
Yeah, and like there's services that I would never, like Christmas lights, I would never sub out Christmas lights because those are the clients. If they're spending $1,800 on Christmas lights, they're spending $250 on the windows, $250 on the gutters. They'll do their lawn aeration, seating, fertilizer. And they're the ones that like stay for forever. Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
And they spend the money.
So how do you get your guys door knocking? How do you hire door knockers? Obviously, you're more the digital guy.
Which I kind of don't like door knocking low key. I tell guys, like some guys, if they're just starting, like definitely hustle it, get some doors. But like after that, like I really love having just the automated leads, like getting first on Google, getting your Facebook ads dialed in, like having leads come to you. That's at least my style, but I know like everyone's different, like, different services. But
like, how realistic is that for, let's say I'm a sales rep, like I'm not a business owner, I work for a company. Can I do that on my own?
I mean, yeah, you can do. I mean, if you can learn to get leads, you'll always be able to make money. So it really depends on your style too. Like I'm not like, the door-to-door, it just never like clicked with me. I'll still do it. We went to Connecticut last month and we had some time. We just like went door knocking, like closed like $500 of gutter jobs. We did that same day. So it's like, I'll do it. But I don't know, I'm more the marketing, like guys, people coming to me. The sales is like, I don't know, plus like hulking in their doorway, I feel like it's being a little bit taller. It's like a little bit more, I don't know if I'm more intimidating. They just like, I don't have a great close rate at the doors, but.
So let's say that door knocking where Adam and I, it's like that comes a little bit more natural. It's like, it's not scary. Where you're like, man, it's not my thing. And you get a lot of people that sign up for sales, they're excited, and then they're just like 6 months in or whatever. And they're like, I'm pretty good, but I just can't get myself to do it as much. What would be like he gave us steps to, starting a lighting company or what he would do to add that to his service. But like, what would you do if you were a sales rep that knew you could make good commissions, you're willing to invest a little bit into your own marketing and not be so dependent on the company giving you leads? Because I think that's the issue is like, I work for a company, they only give me 1 or 2 leads a week. I don't really want to door knock. I don't really want to quit. I still want to produce. What would be that process?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the service. I mean, it's interesting, like solar, like installs, like I feel like that's like, for some reason that just has to be door to door. But like for stuff like we do like roof cleaning and windows, gutter cleaning and all that sort of stuff, it's a little bit more, I mean, if you're number 1 on Google, like that's huge. But I started with Facebook ads, just being able to spend $1 in ads, make $2 back. And so if someone's a rep, I mean, if they're just getting like their leads coming in, like they don't even have to knock, it's like, then they can sub it out. But like,
so did you just figure out Facebook yourself? Like you just opened up Ads Manager? Did you?
Like I kind of learned the Facebook by myself a little bit, and then recently I joined a mastermind. Like, they're actually in St. George, just like the digital landlords. Like it's like how to like rank your website really well, and so kind of like learn how to like build websites that like because most contractors, like most guys who run, like you mentioned asphalt, like they're not out there like building their website, like actually putting like the right keywords, like doing backlinks. Like it's pretty simple, but it's like most people just don't do it. They don't like build a good website. Like, I built a website for my brother-in-law. He's a contractor, he's a concrete. And within like 3 months, the website's number 1. Now they're getting like, landing $7,000 jobs. And like, he doesn't have to knock a single door. And it's just we found a good niche where there's no competition, build a good website. But it does depend. Like if there was like a really competitive city, maybe you would have to do doors. But like if you can see the gaps where you can do a website versus Facebook versus door to door, see where the chinks in the armor are and go for that. So
how would you answer that?
I think that you're saying as if I'm like a big company and I have a sales rep and you're thinking, could he go do? I don't think that would work. I don't think that would work. I think you'd have to knock. You're saying like as a rep going and creating his own Facebook. You think someone would do that? I don't think that would happen.
That's why I'm wondering, because like how many times you hire a rep and you're just like, dude, just go knock 100 doors a day. And he's like, okay. And then like 2 days later, you're like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. You know what I mean? Like it's always like, bro, I don't know how I make this simpler. Go knock 100 doors. And it's like 2 weeks in, he's like, you only knocked 3 doors this week, bro. Like, what are you doing? He's like, and he's broke and he's sitting there. It's like, but you're all talent. You have so much talent. You just don't know how to get yourself out there. Like,
I always say to guys, you can be lazy, but you can't be broken lazy. So like, you need money to run Facebook ads. You'll need time. Like, you can't just sit there and learn. Like, so if I'm a rep or something, like I'm knocking the doors. Like, that's how I started my business. So I say it's like, I love door-to-door sales because like we could go tomorrow. We're in Nashville, and like I know 100% I'd put everyone I know's life on the line. We'll walk home with at least $1,000 by 3 o'clock in my pocket, cash, done. Like I'd bet everything on my entire life on that, easy, right? But and it's awesome because you go do it, but the thing I like to tell people is like, do that little extra that's gonna make it so that they come back. Like, have your CRM, store their data, record your calls, like run the email campaign, like set the automated text message on Canada Day, hey, happy Canada Day. Like those things, because for us, like door-to-door is still a part of Pat Pal's thing, and like now that like we have a guy at Pat Pal's like wanting to like get it more involved again, like he's trying to build out some bigger teams and stuff. I love door-to-door. It's a part that we use as a complement to what we do right now within our internal stuff, and like
they get you a new name and phone number and a new customer. Now you can work that. It's referrals, repeat, all the other things that come from that.
And it's like if you do that good job, and like I said, that automated text message, like that's enough in the home service space for them to love you. Like we go drop off cookies on Christmas. I can go drop off cookies and a thank you card, and it's stuff like that 99% of people don't do. That like you do that, and then you go down to take the lights down in January and say, oh, hey, Miss Schneebly, like blah blah blah. You enjoyed the lights? Cool. Like, you know, we do soft washing, power washing, blah blah blah. Like we already have the card on file from the thing. Like they don't like they get loyal as hell, bro. Like they do. Like if you're doing the right customers, they're not price shoppers. They want you. It's like a brand of anything. They just want you to do it.
And he said something though that I want to like reiterate. So yesterday I go mountain biking. And one of the guys that was with I felt like I was like at a high school band again. Like, you know, I was like the bike crew. There's like 20 of us dudes on the trail. Like, I was like, wow. I know. I felt like a big kid again. I was like, this is so fun. Anyway, so I'm talking to the guy, and he just built a bot with AI that does day trading for you. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Tell me about this concept. But I want to like this is an interesting training. He's like, we cap it to where it trades, and once it makes you 0.7% a day, then it cuts off. So like whether that took it all day, the first 30 seconds of the market opening, he's like, once it just hits 0.7, it shuts off. And human doesn't do that, right? Like human, it would be like, I need to make 10% today, or look at this trade. You know, when the day traders, why does every day trader fail? Not every, but like most of them, is because they watch this spike and they're like, yeah, and then they buy, and then they're like, shit, and it's like this game of emotion.
Long-term thinking, just like, it's human.
It's human, and it's just how we are. And we were talking about that psychology, and when you said, I know that by 3 o'clock, I could go put $1,000 in my pocket, without a doubt, put my whole family and life on the line, which would make 30 grand a month, which would make more than the top 1% of every American, which would make, does that make sense? Like,
it's real. It's
a real thing.
And 1,000's not good either. Like that's.
No, I know that, but what I'm getting at is if you're listening to this, I guarantee, like most people listening to this could probably say if they're this far in the podcast, they're probably good enough to probably go do that. Meaning, they can make a multi-six-figure income off of personally going and selling, and probably have the skill set to do it, but they're kind of trying to figure out some crazy algorithm to make them more than 0.7% every day. Does that make sense? Because they want this like, oh, if I could just have this, or if I could just build this, and if I just had this done for me, and I'm like, how about just go get 0.7% a day, which equals 10% a month, which equals compounding. You know what I mean? You're just like.
So like for my guys just starting, for you, so you guys train door to door, like, so should I be having guys knocking doors, or, I mean, how would you recommend any guy just listening to this right now? What does your app do? Like, how does that work? Like,
well, the DDCRM is built just to track how many doors you knocked, who's home, who's not, your leads, where you're concentrated.
You can watch, like, your guys, like how many they knocked.
Yeah, so you can track like here's your area, customer data. You know, you have homeowner data. You can kind of find geographics. So it's like, hey, here's probably a good area to start. Here's 400 homes, go there. And it gets them out of this whole like drive around, try to figure out what's a good neighborhood. Because you know, the second you drop off somebody like, everybody's mean here. Can I get better hood? Like, stop, dude. It's just you need to be better at selling. And so my advice would be put your head down and go sit in the uncomfortable. Meaning when it's scary and there's rejection and there's hardship and you go 2 days with making no money, it's just go law of averages. If I talk to X amount of people, meaning qualified homeowners, at some point I could have a monkey clapping a tambourine with a sign on top of it that said window washing free, or like cheap window washing, and I would get a phone call. Like,
each no you get, like law of averages, each no you get puts you close to the yes. So
I used to say I could literally walk up to someone's door and I want to try this one day, just like knock and like act like I'm mute. And
I've sold one that way. I have done that. I have done this exercise. I called it my non-verbal pitch.
Oh, so you've done it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was my idea.
Yeah, like I straight up, and they're like, and I'm like, and I'm like, and just like, yeah, and they're like, what? And I just walked away, and I came back and showed them, and they're like, oh, it's window cleaning. Like, it wasn't window cleaning, but it was, I was setting a solar deal, and I was like, anyway, but long story short, I set an appointment without talking, and I was like, no effing way. Like, I did a non-pitch. I think the issue was I was so confident in what I was doing. It didn't take words. It was my body language showed that so much confidence. And I think confidence comes two ways. Confidence comes from you winning, meaning the more you win, like you played professional hockey. It's like if you'd have lost every game in high school, you'd have been like, there's no way. Like, it's just like, I should give up. Like, I am not going to win. But he probably won state champion or whatever they call it in Canada, province champions. What do they call it? We call them state champions.
It's like, yeah, it's a lot different. Just continue on. Yeah. That's another conversation. Yeah. But yeah, winning is momentum.
Or all Canadian.
I was all Canadian actually.
All Canadian.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I was like, he's all Canadian. I'm just making assumptions. But to go pro, you probably were all American. You probably hit X champions. But long story short, like, I think this is where other people seeing them, Adam has this confidence to him, and you do too, where it's like, I know by 3 o'clock, and he's like, do this, say this, do this, it works. Now, whether you do it or not is the real question. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember, like, yeah, it's it's so much. It's like your thing today was so good because it's so much of what you say. I'm like, yeah, that's the biggest key is people understanding that themselves. Like it's fully in their control in their head. Like. Yeah. Everything. Like I remember being little and being like, yo, I need to have a good life. And then the second that like pro hockey might not be an option, and then I found out I made $500 cleaning windows, like I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be rich. Like this, I can make $500 doing this. These guys are idiots not doing this. Like, and I just decided to do it. Like, so your $1,000 thing is 100% real. Like you can do it. Like
so real. In the speech today, I actually, it was funny, I caught your eye because it's like you're in the very back, kind of like, oh, like just listening to my workshop or whatever. And I'm like, you could just tell 90% of those people in that room were like, we don't get this. And I'm like subtly weaving in so much deep psychology and showing and little things. And I'm just like, they were like, this is so complex over their head.
It's hard, eh?
I know.
I was gonna ask, that's not a podcast question, like, how do you, like, you did really good, man. It's like, I went to do mine, like, I was adjusting it as I go, because you're trying to vibe, like, do they know what I'm saying, like, this here? Like, but I think they were engaged, but I was looking around, and, like, I was like, fuck, this is so good, like, the dinosaur, carnivore, herbivore, like, and those, it's cool, but I like about you is that you put a name on things. Like, and I've tried to get better at that, but, like, that's a really good way of, like, showing it, whereas, like, for me, it's like, in our pal stuff, it's like, oh, like some customers are like, we don't have like a dinosaur name to it. It's like some customers are more reserved, so like make sure you're like soft spoken, step away from the like kind of thing. So like, how did you start like coming up with all that? Like,
even when I wrote my first book, like I coined 8 Mile, and it's funny, like later on I start hearing people use this term, and I was like, dude, I had to come up with a way to explain how to overcome objections before they come up. Like that just sounds dumb. Like. Overcome the objections before they come up.
That's my type.
8 Mile. That's much easier to remember. And like where's it
come?
Exactly. You automatically
see. That's so smart. I see. My brain didn't pick that up until you fucking said
the final rap battle when he's like, I know I'm white.
How do you think? No, I know the movie, but like that is like I didn't pick up on the 8 Mile thing, like the connection to the thing of like, oh, handle every objection until you said it, because he goes out there and he raps and so
Yeah, I know I'm white. I know my mom grew up in a trailer, right? Like, so now it's like, I don't have to be like, overcome the objection. All I need to do is teach it one time, then just say 8 Mile. In people's brains, we remember this way. So if you're a leader, manager, whatever, listen to this. If I can condense things to be so memorable as if a 3rd grader could remember it, now when they're on the doors, when they're trying to learn something, they just go back to the most basic thing they can remember. Because for people to remember some of the subliminal stuff that I was teaching in there, there's no way. But if I teach them, are you a carnivore or herbivore? They're like, oh, I'm a carnivore. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, you know what I mean? But at least they remembered that. And so what I like to do is give it a name. So even in a pitch, I'll call it hey, we're doing spray on the roof. And I'm like, no, this is called our, what do they call it? AML program. And they're like, what's the AML program? It's the 𝐬𝐮𝐫𝐞𝐿 program. Does that make sense? And then I gave it a name. It's the AML pitch.
I like that, yeah.
And so now people are like, oh, I'm doing the AML pitch. And I'm like, I just made that shit up. And I was in North Carolina and we called it the AML pitch. But I gave it a name.
You just tell that to the customer, like, hey, we're doing
I would literally knock. And they're like, what's the AML? I'm like, oh, it's the 𝐬𝐮𝐫𝐞𝐿 program. And they're like, what's that program? Anyway, so what we found is we're being prevented, right? So when training, and when I was in alarms, I made a 17-step dance to my entire sale. So I'd get in my meetings and I would say, all right, step 1, get in the house, sit down. And I had a full stance.
Peter Panda dance from
Yeah, like a dumb dance. And I'm in my meetings and everybody's like, you're gonna make us do the dance. I'm like, yeah, because you all don't know the effing steps of the damn sale. And if you just follow the steps and I gave each step a name, then I can remember it. And I found that the more you can teach that way, the easier it is for people to actually go apply stuff. Because I found I'm quick. I can tell you're a quick learner. I can tell that you're you're just caught on, right? But I would say 8 out of 10 people, they're a little slower to learn, sadly. And so it's you have to come up with ways. And I realized the first 3 years I was selling alarms and I was managing, I had all my reps quitting every year. And I was like, why'd you quit? You made good money. Or I'd have reps be like, dude, how are you so damn good? I'm like, I don't know. I say the same thing you do. I just work hard. And that was always my answer, right? It was always they're like, that's what I said. I'm like, no, yeah, it is. Yeah, the same thing. Why do I sell 5 times more than you every day? And I couldn't keep giving them the same answer to that. So then I had to get into what do teachers, so then I started reading manuals for elementary school teachers.
Okay, so that's where I should start.
Yes. So I was like, what does an elementary school teacher do that's different? And then you start to study what elementary school teachers do. They use the gold stars, they use names, they use games, they use things to get people to remember stupid things. And you're like, wow, the fact that I'm having to take playbooks out of elementary schools and teach it to grown adults is sad, and they don't even see me doing it. But then all of a sudden people started performing at the highest level, and I was like, wow, that's so funny that I learned this out of an elementary school playbook. It was
So that's my starting point, is looking at learning how to teach, I guess.
Yeah,
because that stuff is creative. It's really good, man.
My 8-year-old comes and he's like, I was like, hey, how'd you do? Did you get an A? And he's like, oh, they got rid of that. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, they don't give you A, B, C's, and D's like they used to. And I was like, what do they do? He's like, but we get, what do they call it, D? Boco bucks? The bucks, what Alton was saying? Something bucks, monkey bucks. He's like, they give us monkey bucks. I was like, what the heck is a monkey buck? And he's like, every time you do certain things, you get monkey bucks. And every time you do something stupid and you dink off in class, they take away your monkey bucks. And I was like, that's actually smart, because that's how society is. The more you do, the more money you get. The more sucky you are, the more money you don't have. And I was like, they took the most basic thing for a 2nd grader, and they took monkey bucks, and they said, and he's all stoked to get these monkey bucks. And I was like, how do you do the same thing when you're teaching your people? It's implement monkey bucks, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I learned X, Y, Z in the sale. Now I've got 10 monkey bucks. And it's they drool over that.
It's genius, yeah. I feel our stuff's, I don't call it boring, it's detailed, but it's not you're not, there's certain things, sure, but there's no dinosaur, herbivore, naming, 8 Mile, that's not a thing. So that's something I really want to learn.
You'll like the new book I have coming out, Eat What You Kill. I have a book coming out in January. It's on pre-order if you're listening. It's called Eat What You Kill. You can get it on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, all those. They came up with it.
It's a sick name for a book too. I saw it and I thought.
It's you're not a vegan. So.
When I saw that would have been a good name for me if I ever wrote a book. That's a sick name.
It's good. It's good. Because I feel like today the world needs more carnivore type people. But The piece though of it was in that book, it's like Doritos. It's like each chapter is there's probably 40 chapters, but they're all like bite size. But each chapter kind of has its own, like 8 Mile is a chapter, or this is a chapter. And it's easy for people, because I wanted something that they could like remember. Because like what you'll notice is when you're doing a course or you're doing trainings or you're writing a book, they remember the stories and they remember the dumb 8 Mile thing that they associate. So the term I like to use is called picture, parable, principle. So when I teach, I'm like, what's the picture? So call it, I showed you a picture of some dinosaurs. You remember that. Then I told a story, which I could tell you a story about a guy that was a carnivore versus a guy that was a herbivore. And then what's the principle behind it? Eat what you kill. Those are the guys that are gonna be successful in life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when teaching, think that picture, parable, principle concept, and it resonates into their deeper memory.
And that's how Jesus taught.
Exactly.
Every single thing was a story. He didn't say, hey, don't go take your neighbor's wife. He just gives a story or something, you know. Like,
And that's exactly what he taught. So
I want to learn that from you. It's good. It's just
here to help. So hopefully those listening on the podcast get some out of that. We got to wrap though. So guys, if you have not followed Mr. Adam Chapman, make sure to go. It's Adam Champ or something.
Adam R. Chap. Adam
R. Chap. I love that. And then go follow Spencer. What's your Instagram?
Just Spencer Claeys, and at TikTok, Instagram, YouTube as well.
Claeys with a C, and then Sam Taggart. So hopefully you got some value out of this. Go share this with somebody that needed it, and we'll see you guys on the next episodes.